Loud Spot podcast uses adult humor and adult language in its broadcast. It may be unsuitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, we are idiots. Please don't take anything we say offensive or to heart.
Oh, no! Oh, boy! Ah, here it comes! The motherfucking Loud Spot!
What is going on? Welcome to the Loud Spot. We are sitting here today, and we got a. Sam is making a face right now. we have an interesting show today. We got some topics we're going to talk about. We got Vinnie Langdon interview coming up later, and we got some new music like we always do. And I want to start this episode off with a music discussion. And I was surprised to hear that the Rolling Stones were going back on tour. Mick Jagger is 80 years old.
He's older than that. I googled it. I Wikipedia'd that ass. Well, how old is Keith?
The real question is, how old is Joe Biden? I think Mick Jagger's older than he is.
I mean, I'm telling you, I can't comprehend. You know what? Here's the thing, though. Watch him. He still moves like he was in his 30s, 40s. So I will give him that. So
they have a music video that we are not going to play on here because it's the Rolling Stones and we probably can't on YouTube anyways. But they have a new song that came out 3 days ago, a new music video called Angry. Look, Rolling Stones is not my cup of tea. I like old school Rolling Stones, but them coming out with music now, it's not my favorite thing. But I'll tell you, Mick Jagger's moving in the video, and they're on these billboards. It's pretty cool. They got some hot chick like half naked in the video, which is going to draw
half the age.
Oh, dude, more than half the age would be like 40. She was probably like 26.
One third of the age.
Yeah, third of the age. But and then they have a whole new album coming out too. It's called, which I don't know what Hackney Diamonds. I don't know what Hackney is.
I think that's a place in like London, in England somewhere or something like that. Like Hackney. Okay. Yeah. Which just makes sense. So my only question is to Mick. When do you, is this song named after because they couldn't find their geriatric medicine, so they're angry? Maybe they couldn't get the pills. Maybe their health insurance, went up or something like that, so they're upset.
Well, according to the internet, he's also worth $500 million. So I don't think he's worried about insurance. Do you even have insurance at that age? Yeah, I guess
I don't know. He definitely had
that much money. With that much money, I mean, not age, that much wealth.
Well, we know he has a drug dealer, right? We all know they got a drug dealer. So instead of probably the normal cocaine, marijuana, stuff like that, alcohol, they're probably dealing out with geriatric medicine like diabetes medication, heart pills, Viagra, those kind of things.
A doctor goes on tour with them to make sure that they stay healthy.
Yeah.
Why do you think when you're worth that much money and your band's as successful as the Rolling Stones is, do they just do this because they're bored and they want to feel young again? Is that what's the point of going back on tour?
I think they're going to do it until they actually die.
Mick Jagger said this was not their final tour. This is not a farewell tour, is what he said. It's not.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess as long as you can move.
He's going to do it until he croaks.
Well, so don't forget when you're in the record, when you're pushing a new album, you have to tour because you have to get those sales up, those kind of things to make that advance that they get back. Question is, do they even get advances anymore at this stage in game? We know that when they go out there and they tour, it's a production show and stuff like that, and stuff has to be paid for, but they get to keep all that money. So what are they saving for? Is it the last remaining of their life insurance policy or something like that? So I'm just trying to figure out when's enough. But then again, I actually commend him. I'm not literally, I know I'm making fun and talking smack about him, but it's one of those things. All of us, all three of us, we would do it until we die. And that's probably what it is.
Yes, I'm sure it is. I mean,
Ozzy would do it.
Ozzy was
Ozzy
doing
would
it if it wasn't for his Parkinson's. He was doing
Yeah.
it. It wasn't until
Exactly.
he was physically unable to, and now he's doing a podcast with his family.
That's right.
Who do you even tour with if you're the Rolling Stones?
Does it matter?
But who would you
mean,
pick?
You're the
Would
headliner.
It be
You can pick
Ozzy
anybody.
Osbourne? Elton
I know a
John?
band. I know
No.
a band that they would tour with. I just showed you this band. You have the music. If you would load it up while we're talking
Oh,
here,
you want-
they would tour with this band, and this band is great because I think this is the band that they would tour with 100%. The band is called the Clintons, and not like Bill and
Hillary.
Hillary, that kind of Clintons. But I think they would tour with this band. So let's go ahead and show it real quick.
John, what are you doing there?
Well, I'm clapping my hands.
Well, that looks like fun.
It is fun. You should try it, Levi.
All right, I'll try it. How's it go?
It goes like this. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. Who's got the clap? I do, I do.
Well, that looks like a lot of fun. I want the clap too.
It's really easy. Anyone can get the clap. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. Who wants the clap? I do, I do.
Now you guys, wait a minute. I want the clap too. Now we gosh jeepers, I want the clap too.
We've got the clap and we're giving it to you. We've got the clap and we're giving it to you. We've got the clap and we're giving it to you. Who's got the clap? We do, we do. Yeah.
Y'all are awful.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm
Is
pretty
that a
sure
kid
he's
song,
the.
or is that like an STD literal song?
No, it's just it's actually, we'll give props to the YouTubers, the Clintons. It's a sketch comedy show on YouTube, but they did it wiggle style, obviously, with the different cup. So, Rolling Stones, if you're looking for a good opener, get your clap on. It's not even called clap.
These Teletubbies, right? Not the Wiggle. The Wiggles.
No, the Wiggles.
The Wiggles.
Yeah,
Yes, the
Australian
English-based,
band.
Okay.
Australian.
Oh, Australian?
Yeah,
All their
they're
accents sound the same. Out.
Oh, William's gonna be so mad at you.
Yes, he
He's
is.
probably
He's
awake
even
right now.
listening.
He's not listening because
This
we're
will be the
recording
one
this.
episode he listens to, and he's going to call you at 4:00 in the morning because
I'll make sure to tag him in it. Australians sound like English people.
We do have another song we're gonna play, but let's wait to play that one.
Yeah. This is a legit song, so
You want to go ahead? You want to go ahead? Let's go ahead before we move on to the next topic. Let's
hold on.
play.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
We need to wish you a happy birthday because
No, we
it
don't.
is your birthday
don't.
weekend.
No.
So
Whoa.
yes,
No,
yes.
And I do.
Yes.
So-
I,
no.
Don
And
did
he
make-
was supposed to unwrap the gift on camera, and so many people are disappointed because he opened it ahead of time. But we're
Okay,
not.
first of all, you got to know you can't give him anything without him just automatically.
I had no choice because he switched days on me. Look at that. I have a podcast because that's what he tells everybody.
Yep.
And
exactly.
the squirrel with blah 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 because he zones out on the podcast.
I
And
think
then
the
that's
funny
actually
one.
a picture of you, me, and him on the podcast.
Yeah, what was that in the corner? There's something.
The
that says-
alien?
yeah, the alien. He sucks or something. So take him back or something. What does it say?
He's not as funny as he said. Returning to sender.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had to
That's
make
my
sure that
birthday
he was
present.
represented.
Yep. Now, I've given him a birthday present every year. This person, I was going to cuss, but I was decided not to. And he doesn't care about it. That's what it is.
Well, the
He doesn't
only
like it.
reason is because I made it podcast related.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
the
Yes,
only
Sam.
reason.
Your presents are podcast related.
Yeah, there's just a couple $100. Ooh, yeah.
Hey, I went through actual blood, sweat, and tears with that thing. That was my third canvas, and it took me a total of a week. and I wanted to smash the first two several different times, and I did not.
You should have, and then gave it to him.
I'll never
Actually, I probably could have given him the busted 2 with the one and be like, look how much I put into this.
Yeah. And he would be like, I don't care.
I'll never forget the first time Sam and I went out to eat. The first time he came to Oklahoma City to visit me, we got to eat. And Sam's like, I'll pay for dinner.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I'm going to the bougiest restaurant I could think of in Oklahoma City. And our bill was probably a total of like, it was like over $400. Yeah,
it was close to $400. It was like $380 something, and I only had like $200.
And Sam's food wasn't even that good.
I got,
what'd you get?
A beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington.
So you can't really, if you ask someone like, I don't know, maybe the guy that says his beef Wellington is the best, Gordon Ramsay. So you can't really mess up beef Wellington, but they found a way to mess this beef Wellington
Everybody can find a way to fuck
now.
Up.
So he wanted to go to Mickey Mantle's, his favorite place, but for some, I think
they were
it was closed.
Yeah.
So we went around to I can't remember the place, but it seemed all right. And I only had like $200 and some odd on me, and I thought that was enough. Apparently it wasn't. We got the bills, and I was
like $200 last night on my birthday dinner at Junior's. Remember that restaurant we went to, Sam? That like 60s style looking mafia cigar bar.
Right.
That's where we ate dinner yesterday. It was $200 just for me and Stacia.
I know. And it was it good though? Was it good?
Can I borrow $200, Sam?
Yeah. But didn't you have an issue?
It was
when
good.
Stacia decided to click the button to reserve the table.
Oh yeah. So speaking of restaurants and tipping, by the way, Sam, we tipped last night, and you also tipped on that $400 meal that I wound up paying for half of. So
yeah,
let's go ahead and play this Memphis Mayfire song, and let's talk about tipping and what it is doing. Well, it's gotten out of control, people. It's gotten out of control. That's all I got to say. We got a whole segment about the United States and tipping in the United States. But first, let's play, Sam. Go ahead and play Memphis Mayfire featuring Atreyu. This song is called Misery.
You're listening to Loud Spot.
Some violence, try to speak, but it's saying to be silent. I grab the bottle, hoping I can make it quiet, but they get louder every time I try to hide it. Nothing left to lose at rock bottom. Wounds turn to scars, yeah, I got them. But I've come to learn you gotta let it burn if you're gonna be forged in the fire. I try to take the pain away, nothing seems to change. But when I go through hell, it's when I know myself. To lose at rock bottom, wounds turn to scars, yeah, I got them. And I've come to learn you gotta let it burn if you're gonna be forced in the fire. I tried to take the pain away, but it kept chasing me. It's never gonna leave. I tried to take the pain away, nothing seems to change. But when I go through hell, it's when I know myself. And all the lies that I digging me a grave, but when I go through hell, it's where I find myself, remade in misery. It's easier to say I hate it, but to admit that
Remember, folks, you heard it here third, right on the loud spot. You heard it here last. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
There you go.
I'm not important.
Kind of important. You're kind of
That's only
important. So
That's only because Diego's not here.
Aw,
You
you're
miss
just
your
as
buddy?
important, Sam. Diego's out at Blue Ridge. We'll talk about that later. Let's go into tipping, man. Okay.
So,
Here's my beef with tipping.
your beef with tipping.
Okay, when do you tip? When are you supposed to tip? When?
For tattoo artists, hairdressers, servers, bartenders.
Okay, but
Serving.
when do you tip? You tip after a service has been provided.
Yes.
Because why? If I'm going to a restaurant and I'm looking at a menu and I want the filet medium rare with mashed potatoes and green beans, and the waiter says, "Just put your order in. How about that tip?" No, dude. You get the tip after getting my food and you provided a good service. So,
All right, well let's structure this a little bit. So Stacia decided she's going to reserve a table at this restaurant.
no, this is not a restaurant. This is axe throwing.
Oh, this was actually.
Yes. So,
okay.
so what happened was for my birthday, we're trying to decide what we're going to do for my birthday. Last year, we kind of had a big birthday. Sam, you were there. Donna didn't know you yet. And we went out. So this year, we're like, let's just go, us two. Let's go do some axe throwing, which we wanted to. There's an axe throwing place right down the street from my house. And then we're going to go out to dinner. So we don't know how busy it's going to be. So Stacia goes online and she's reserving this axe throwing thing for us. After you go to check out, they ask you for a tip. And my first thought was it's their point of sale. It's their system, the POS system, right?
Yes.
That's what they have. It's just on their website. No, they specifically ask for a tip because they're going to show you how to throw the axes before you throw them.
That's a requirement for safety. That's per their insurance. So that's not a service that is tippable. I mean, they legally
left no tip. I'm
legally
like, you're not tipping for that. That's like your job. It's like, but everybody asks for a tip nowadays. This started during COVID. Normally it was just the service industry. I can see why they could ask for a tip. We want to get a couple beers and tip the lady anyways. But I feel like if you don't tip, when you walk in, they know you didn't tip in advance. So they're like going to be less nice to you.
Right. And so here's where I have a problem with tipping. And then everything is asking for a tip lately, whether it's I'd say it started from Starbucks. No offense, but I think it started from Starbucks. So I'm waiting in line. I'm not being serviced anything. You're making me the drink that I ordered, and then you still kind of want me to tip on top of that. Now, this is going to rattle Don just a little bit here in a second, but I'm sorry if I come in for a haircut, you give me a haircut. I'm not required to tip, but I'll probably tip. It's same thing with the tattoo. You're already charging me a couple $100 to put ink on my skin. Yeah. Now you're gonna expect me to tip you on top of that, and it's one of those things. But now, granted, how you treat me, like, oh, baby me, and be like, hey, numbing cream, and oh,
happy ending or something.
Great. No, not happy ending. Sebastian, Jesus, you disgusting. But those kind of things like that, I could see where tipping would be a form of, like, yes. I tip my tattoo artist because of all maybe the breaks that I had, or hey, can I go smoke a cigarette? Hey, can I go do this?
What you said was, typically people don't tip tattoo artists, and that is legit. I've been in this industry long enough. It's probably a 50-50 on who's going to tip and who's not going to tip. But what a lot of people don't realize is, yes, you just got charged $200 for that tattoo, but us being artists, we are our own entity. We have to pay booth rent or commission. And so we lose up to half of that money that we just made off of you. And or then we have to
have your own booth. Or your own studio.
Well, see, that's the problem. Too many artists got a big head thinking they didn't need to pay people. So now we're like overcrowded with tattoo studios and can't get artists into studios that, you need to. But the other thing is we have to buy our own supplies. That shop does not provide that. So that $200 tattoo, we probably only made $50 off of that thing. Legit. That goes towards our bills. And so anything that's tipped to us, that's our money. And so that helps us out. It's no different than servers because they make $3 an hour. They rely on tips.
Okay. So depends on where you live. In Oklahoma, I think they make like $2.14 an hour. I don't know if that's the exact number, but it's like
$3.24, and Missouri was $5.25.
So the reason why I looked up why tipping has gone so crazy, and what I found online is it keeps, and this is where I think it's kind of BS. Okay, it keeps the cost down for the consumer. Okay, so that means that the employer doesn't have to pay the employee as much because they're getting tips. If they don't have to pay the employees that much, that means the cost of whatever they're serving you stays cheap. But in Oklahoma, you're only making $2 to $3 an hour. In the restaurant industry, that's the cost of your employees doesn't affect the cost of your supply. But now restaurants, I do think that restaurants, tattoo artists, I've always tipped when I used to have hair, I would tip the hairdresser, or like if I went on my birthday last year, I went and got shaved, a nice shave done, and my head, waxed and all, whatever I had. I tipped the guy, like $5 or $10, something like that.
Because it gave you a happy ending.
Yeah, give me a happy ending. but for axe throwing, I don't think so. Drive-throughs, I don't think you should have tip for drive-throughs. Most places now, when you go to check out, they ask. I mean, where's it going to go to? You go buy a car, now you got to tip your salesman.
Yeah,
well, he's already ripping you off to begin with.
Yeah, he's making commission off of that sale.
So where do you still going to tip the guy at the grocery store that bags your items?
Right. And don't forget, in other countries, it's a very disrespectful to tip, like Japan.
Yes, but they also pay them, above their minimum wage to where they're making just like anybody else.
But a barista at Starbucks is making above
barista.
Did I say Bartista? that's the bar person. Sorry,
isn't that a wrestler?
Starbucks employees are making above minimum wage.
Yeah, Baptista. Yeah, sorry. Well, we can't get it. We can't get our terminology. But so and as a server, I was a server for many years. It's one of my go-to when I come to a city that I need a quick job, and I can tell you that they don't pay for health insurance. They don't pay for any kind of insurance whatsoever. You get half, if less than that. So yeah, tipping is great, but I would expect not to be tipped if I didn't perform a great service either.
Well, of course, you can't be a jerk to people and still expect a tip. But I think
you don't know Sebastian.
I've eaten a meal with Sebastian. It's not that bad.
Oh, wait until it's the breakfast. He doesn't do breakfasts all.
I don't like breakfast that much, but I'll still tip.
He's a grumpy guy for breakfast.
I've had brunch with him and Stacia and Mimi.
But I was drinking mimosas also. So
brunch.
I like brunch.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a big breakfast eater at all. I did want to say before we move on from the tipping thing, it did start back in medieval European days, which then I got to thinking, what does medieval mean? Like, what is that? Why do they name
15, 16? Because it was medieval times. It was between the Renaissance period and some other period. I can't even remember
what evil people.
Yeah. So it wasn't.
That's what tipping started. I think America with COVID, with food delivery services, I think people just got used to asking for tips, and that's what caused the tipping craze.
I can see the peasants like, my DoorDash didn't come through. What the heck? I gotta get some more hay in here.
I think if employees are making minimum wage or above, I don't think that they should be able to ask for tips. But I also come from the service industry to where, I'm partial on that. But I think it has ruined a lot of people because, tips have gone down. And, my daughter, she was a server for 2 years and it started declining as well. People weren't tipping like they used to. And it's just because I think everybody's asking for tips now. And so they're just like, I'm done.
That's what I was going to say. When you are constantly being asked to tip, you're done tipping. It's like when the spam phone calls ring. I used to donate to the National Police, whatever, which I don't even think is a real thing as that.
Fraternal Order of the Police. Yeah.
What?
Fraternal Order of Police. FOP.
Yeah, whatever it is. It's some National Police Department. But I gave him like $20 one time. But now I'm not. Every time someone calls me, I'm just annoyed. I just hang up the phone. I don't even talk to them anymore. And same with tipping. I mean, if you got it now, I do tip at restaurants, but I feel obligated to tip. If that thing comes on the screen of how much you want to give, I normally do custom, and I'll do like $1. If
So
it's like
every
at a Chipotle or something.
So we're gonna play that Sarah McLachlan song every time. In the arms of every time, and we're just gonna look at him every time we're out eating and see if he's gonna just bust into tipping or something like that. When we could have a horrible server, but we're gonna make him feel bad really quick.
Stacia was like, "You better not say anything when we get there," because I was kind of irritated. She was just leave it alone, and that's not that lady that works there's fault,
Yeah.
But normally I do say stuff, and I probably shouldn't, but. I said lots of things around Sam, and I shouldn't have said
all the time. So, how was this interview this week
with Vinnie Langdon?
It went good.
It went good. Vinnie Langdon is a interviewing personality, kind of does what we do, but he started when he was 14 years old in Vacaville, California, which is where I'm from. He started in 2004.
Imagine that.
He started in 2004. He's won some awards. I think he does more film directing now.
Yeah, the short films.
And has his own film festival. Right. And now we are here with Vinnie Langdon III, who has the Vinnie Langdon Show, a Vacavillian. Not friend of mine. I didn't realize you were so much younger than me. I thought you were about my age, but you are younger than I am. The Vinnie Langdon Show is a show that was on public access. I did think that you had a show on MTV. I don't know why I thought that, but that was never the case, right?
No. Almost happened, but that's a whole nother story.
So I feel like you... In 2003, 2004 is about when you started doing was it band interviews that you started with?
Yeah. So I started going out to like Fiesta Days, the Creek Walk in Vacaville, filming, the cover bands. Wanted to be an actor, big movie star, and of course, living in Vacaville, 6 hours north of LA. Opportunities were slim, so I grew up in that era of your dad, your grandpa used to go and use the big camcorders and film everything, whether it was your birthday, Easter, and then the next holiday you'd play it on the TV like it was a home movie, and that kind of spewed into me, and I took it to another level, started interviewing local bands, and 17 years I had a great run. My show was on 7 TV stations across the country, and actor, filmmaker, kind of do a little bit of everything.
Dude, you've done a lot of things, and your YouTube channel has kind of changed throughout the years.
Yeah.
I think it was primarily band interviews. I saw an interview you did with 303. You've done Falling in Reverse, Papa Roach, Alien Ant Farm, a bunch of big bands. Did you start? Was YouTube even that big? I don't remember, dude. I don't remember if it was big then.
Well, the thing too is like I remember getting so offended when YouTube first came out. And people would see me in town in Vacaville where I grew up, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're a YouTuber," and I'm like, "Dude, nah, I'm no Justin Bieber. I'm not that." I think YouTube started off like those prank and those fail videos. I think it was like the first thing, and then people did those challenges, and they were short. And for me, I think that's what got me notoriety quick because they were like, yo, who's this like 14-year-old kid doing professional interviews, interviewing these bands that were just on MTV like 2 weeks ago. And then, like you said, it kind of revolved. I was like, well, I like acting. I want to be able to show that. So YouTube was a great platform. I could, I call it the Woody Allen route where I would write my own films and act in them and direct them, put them on there. And then, sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm bored. I'm going to play some video games and, do some gaming at 2 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep. And I have German Shepherds, so I film them. But so when people see my YouTube channel, it's definitely just kind of like my life, whatever I feel like it.
I saw the German Shepherds holding hands, I think is what they were doing on one of your clips.
Is that how you got all the interviews you got was because you were a teenager? I mean, do you look at that as an aspect that helped you, interview Papa Roach and, all them people is because of your age? You were young and so they felt safe to talk to you?
I think so. It was more primarily like their management and record labels. They thought, oh, well,
Still had
this
to go.
kid's, in high school, he must have like a following where these record labels were like, if we promote our music through Vinnie to them, there's, an audience. I always ran into other fellow teenagers that were doing interviews, and I'm sure you've seen them on YouTube where they're like, hey, what's your favorite color? And like, they would just piss the bands off or, and it's like, and I'd sit there and then they'd be like, oh, we're not going to do an interview with Vinnie because he's young. He might just be like them. And that was always hard for me. But I think, that was probably one of the reasons, because I was so young, but yet I had a professional, approach about it. I wasn't, I was there. Hey, let's promote your record. Let's promote your new music video and keep it professional. Not, hey, what'd you eat last night on the road? So I think
Do
that
you have a
helped.
management team to help you out to get these bands on there?
No, it was all me, even back in the day of MySpace, I was, messaging, and YouTube and, using social media, tracking down bands. And, but the music community is so small I'm sure you're with your podcast, you're learning
I
that
didn't
too.
know that. I did not know that until I started doing the podcast, how small the big side of the, even the bigger local bands are within inside that community. And I did not know that until even in 2023 now, even though the music industry's changed, there's still an inside to the industry.
It's like my brother's in a band, my cousin's in a band. Hey, I just was touring with this band, go interview them. And that's how it grew. People go, Vinnie, by the time you were 18, you had 500 episodes. How did that happen in a 4-year span? And I said, it's just, I would go to a show, I'd interview the first 3 or 4 opening bands. And then, every concert, it just evolved. Funny story with like Papa Roach. When they first started, my mom was working at a local ice skating rink in Vacaville, and they were quote unquote too hard. They were like, the city council was banning them from 3
Well, they
Oaks.
did that show at the ice skating rink, right?
Yeah. So my mom said to Jacoby, she said, hey, you guys play here. Why everyone's ice skating on a Friday night? Now, funny thing is, when I started my show, this was, 4 years later after that, I reached out to Papa Roach. I actually took the Infest album. There was a P.O. box, and I remember writing a handwritten letter. Hey, Papa Roach, I want to interview you on my show. And they were like, no way, man. You're just a kid. No. Well, then like about 7 years into my show, I run into Jacoby and he's like, bro, I watch your show all the time, man. Let's do an interview. And I'm like, dude, finally.
Nice.
Like, it's funny how that all revolved. But no, it did have its perks being young and trying to, get whoever I want on the show. But
I think I'm the second person from Vacaville to do something like this. I did it way later on in life.
yeah, that's funny.
Were you nervous? Because so your interviews are in person, where mine are on screen, and I really feel like doing in-person interviews. I've done a few of them, and they're a lot harder than doing it on screen because you're right there next to someone. On screen, if I say something that's real, crappy, you're not going to punch me in the face. But you might if you're in person with me. Was there ever an
he's worried
interview that you were nervous about or felt like didn't go the way you wanted it to go?
Yeah, there was a lot of interviews that didn't go the way I wanted to, and the whole reason was that it's all perspective, and there were a lot of bands. Most of the time I would catch these interviews were when they were touring, so they're in the middle of being on the road. They have that mindset, and maybe like they just did an interview on satellite radio the day before, and they were talking, all this, hyped up stuff, and then I come around and I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Vinnie. Let's talk about this. Little did I know their girlfriend was cheating on them while they're on the road and broke up, and they got that bad phone call 2 minutes before I do this interview, and it's like, oh well, this is awkward. I'm like, why is the band just being so rude towards me? It's not being rude towards me, it's just they're in that mindset,
right?
People are, they do notice. They're like, you're never nervous when you interview these bands. And for me, the only one time I was super nervous was I interviewed a band called Power Man 5000.
Oh yeah.
And knowing that Spider was Rob Zombie's brother, and it's got that pressure, and they were that band I grew up watching wrestling and the video games and the theme songs. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Power Man 5000. And I remember walking into the boardwalk in Orangevale, and just like, he's got his denim jacket, just, looks like a total rock star. And I'm just like, I get to interview him. And then he was like, bro, that was like the best interview I did. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I ended up gaining like this cool, friendship out of it, where every time they were in, Sacramento, they'd call me up. Hey, Vinny, come film our show, come interview us, come hang out. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. But the first interview, it's even on YouTube, and I'm just 15-year-old version of me just going, so, how the band gets started, and and I was shaking. And I'm like, gosh, I can't believe that's even on YouTube, but part of the history.
That's cool. It's cool that you thought about that at such a young age. I was like 37 when I decided I was going to do this. Well, COVID had a lot to do with that, and I want to go back to my roots. Speaking of Sacramento, you won the People's Choice Award. Is that right?
Yeah.
In Sacramento? What is that like a local thing, or is that like because the People's Choice Award, there's several of them, I think.
Sure, yeah. So the Sacramento International Film Festival, I've been involved with that since 2010. And every year they have a film challenge where you have to make a film within a 48-hour period. They'll say, hey, your genre is this. You have to put a character name and a prop. And basically you have from Friday to Sunday to complete a whole 5-minute short film. And for me, it's like a hobby. It's just fun. It's, I'm not in for it for the competition. And a few years I've won. And last year I won the People's Choice Award. And it's just basically the audience sits there, watches the movies, and I guess they like my stuff. So that's cool.
Is that what you're doing now? Is that you're mainly doing films? And I know you started with the Staten Island Summer of Shorts Film Festival, which is that short films?
Yeah. So my family, my mom's originally from Staten Island, New York. I spent a lot of time there. And like what you were saying, during the pandemic, as a filmmaker myself, I love making short films. It's just a hobby of mine. I make a film, put it in film festivals, and then you just grow as a videographer and, actor, and you just make connections, and it's fun. And
you Italian?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Italian.
But so with the film festival, because of the pandemic, there were a lot of actors that were coming out of it going, man, I want to get back to work and I want to do this. And I thought, why not better than let's put together a film festival? So 3 years into it, it's not what I ever thought I would end up doing, but it's helping me because I'm meeting other filmmakers, from the New York area that, actors that were on The Sopranos and Law and Order and MTV's Jersey Shore, made some connections through some of the cast members. And, so there's talks. You never know what the future will hold. So it's all about connections and about the right timing. So
I think I'm following in his footsteps, but just older.
Yes.
You're trying to get younger, and I'm trying to get older.
That's so cool, man. That is so cool. You have a new short film that just got released called Ghosted. Just a couple weeks ago. I think it's called Ghosted, right?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't want to screw that up. He's like, yeah, that's what it's called. And it's not called that at all. It's called something else.
Yeah. So Ghosted was a short film that I wrote probably 3 years ago. And, during the pandemic, of course, we all experienced losing people close to us or in the distance. And for me, growing up, I always had like this fear. I don't know if it's a real thing, like a phobia of funerals. Like people would die, and like especially like Catholic funerals, it's like open casket. It's like, oh, go say goodbye to grandma. It's like, I don't want to see her. She's dead. Like she ain't gonna bake me, peanut butter cookies. So why am I gonna go to her funeral? Like, what's the point? So I took that. Of course, I always have like a light, good sense of humor with a lot of negative stuff. And so I wrote this film, basically saying goodbye to somebody that you really love and care about. And that's what the short film is. And a lot of my work, you'll see if you look, there's a playlist on my YouTube channel, has a bunch of short films. 95% of them, they're all comedic. And this one is, I guess, a little tearjerker. So just, but yeah, check it out. It was a great film. We shot it in a day. We just sent it off to like 20 film festivals. So fingers crossed, see what happens. And
Nice.
I think you guys will like it.
We're going to play a little clip from your short film, Ghosted. Last question I do want to ask you is, and you may or may not know, I don't know how often I know you upload to YouTube, okay, a lot, but I don't know how much you pay attention to your YouTube page, because I don't pay attention to mine that often. One thing I noticed on your YouTube channel, which is the Vinnie Langdon Show, for anyone that wants to follow Vinnie Langdon, go on there, check out all his old stuff also, new things as well. You have your MySpace link on your YouTube channel. I clicked on your MySpace link. It goes to your MySpace page, which according to my browser has nothing on it. But MySpace is still a thing. Is that purposely done, or was my browser just messing up?
I think depending on what browser you use, I'll definitely have to check it again. I haven't checked it in a while. But hey, maybe it's been on there forever. I don't know.
I mean, he did start out on MySpace.
I did start off on MySpace, yeah.
What was that, Don?
I said, didn't he start out on MySpace?
Is that what he said?
That's what I said, and he said yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it was maybe YouTube, but I think everyone started off on MySpace back in the day. That was still a thing back in the day. Okay, for all those who are on MySpace, still go check out Vinnie Langdon's page on MySpace. Go check out his YouTube channel. Just type in the Vinnie Langdon Show. You'll see all his videos. The older ones, man, impressed me so much. How you're able to get some of those bands on there. You got some cool. I even have a how to ice skate tutorial, which had like 1.2 million views on it, by the way.
Right.
Were you even on that video?
I think I filmed it and I produced it. I did another one, and I was hoping that one would get the 1.2 million views. And I'm like, hey, you want to be in my video? And then he gets and I'm like, how come I couldn't get the 1.2 million views? Come on, man. But,
Go check out Vinnie Langdon. We're going to play a little bit of your clip right now. The short film called Ghosted. I think it dropped August 25th. Vinny, thank you so much for being on the show. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there.
They're going to think I'm nuts. I'm just losing it. Like, I can't go in there. I should just go to my therapist right now.
But don't you want to see how beautiful I look?
No.
Laying there.
No, I don't.
Shiny wooden brown little casket.
Bree, just...
Well, it's almond colored, actually.
Just, please stop.
What?
I can't do funerals. I just can't. Like, I can't go in there.
All right. So, in honor of Sebastian's birthday and the first of the month, I got to do a segment on Stump Sebastian. So, yes, but I'm not doing music this time. I'm doing questions with multiple choice answers. So, all right. You ready for this?
I think I am not ready. Audio cut out.
Yeah. Hold on.
What?
Her audio cut.
Really?
Your audio. Yeah,
It's back
it
now.
did. It's back.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So, what year did Papa Roach release Last Resort?
The same year as Anthony.
Hold on. 2001.
Are you ready for
2000?
Are you ready for your choices?
1999. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, you're literally giving A, B, C, D. So, A, 1999, B, 2000, C, 2001, D, 1998.
I'll go with 2000.
You're right.
Okay, because I thought 2001, because I was a senior in high school. I graduated 2001, but it came out when I was a senior. So it must have came out before.
When he had more hair on the top of his head.
I had a lot more hair then.
You know me, I always
Than
have
his
to go,
lower regions.
You know me, I have to go easy on the first question. So,
All right.
let's see. Second question. When was the most recent album released for Evans Blue?
Album?
Yes.
Ooh. It was a while ago.
How many years ago?
I don't know. 3 years ago, we had him on the show, and he was talking about it. It hadn't come out yet.
Still hasn't came out.
So. All right,
So
what's my
obviously we're
choice?
not talking about that one.
I'm gonna go
Dan,
like this.
you're way behind.
My guess is gonna be 2012, but let's hear the choices.
Okay, choices. A, 2016. B, 2017. C, 2018. D, 2015.
2015.
2016.
Yeah, my first guess is gonna be 2015.
Always trust your gut.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure. All right.
All right. Last
so Dan,
question.
you need to come up with this album that you've been working on for the last 20 years.
All right. Last question. When was the first episode of Big Brother?
The first episode?
Yes.
Okay, hold on now. Let me think about this. I just got to guess the year, right?
I'll give you a hint.
No. I don't need a hint.
It's not giving away the whole answer.
I don't need a hint, though.
Okay.
I think I got this. What year right now? 2023?
Yes, we're in 2023.
1998.
Wrong.
Ah, crap. Okay. What's the hint?
Ready for the answers?
Yeah. What's the answers?
Okay. My birthday of 2002 is option A. B, July 5th, 2001. C, July 5th, 1999. D, July 5th, 2000.
1999.
Wrong. July 5th, 2000.
Okay. So
question.
right now they're on the 25th season of Big Brother. So I was counting 25 years ago is what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You got to subtract one. It's okay. You got one. 2 for 1.
I got one. I was close. I was close on Evans Blue. I was never close on all of them.
Yes.
I think if you're within like 3 years, you win.
Whenever you have multiple choice answers, that does not work.
Oh.
And folks, that's how Sebastian plays life right there. If he's within a couple of years, hey, he's good. I asked him when my birthday was. He got it the day after. So hey, I was like, all right, that's close.
Close enough.
He's close. That's
enough.
it. That's how he judges everything. If it's close enough, okay.
It works.
You said your birthday. I was like, when's her birthday again? Then I remembered it. I have a lot of people. Jimmy's birthday's the same day. Evan's birthday's the same day. Yeah. July 5th. Everyone's that I'm friends with has a birthday on July 5th.
Yeah. I was 2 hours shy of being a firecracker.
Yep. That's why we're not friends. I'm in February.
My son is February 7th, and I love him very much. We're good.
Well, I'm not in February anymore. I'm back in January. I'm going January now.
I have a son in January, so come on now.
We quit having babies in the summer. Quit getting pregnant.
I had 1 in the summer and 2 in the winter. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Well, let's.
You think those? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Honestly, you think those Big Brother, the cast members, get paid all that? I don't know how much they get paid, but I wonder if you're on a reality show.
Yeah, you get paid a certain amount.
Daily pay.
And if you win, then you get what's
the
advertised.
Big prizes.
Yes.
I wonder if everyone's different depending on what like their bills are.
I honestly think it went up because the cost of everything went up. So the people who were on the first season didn't make as much as the people on this season just because of the economy. I don't think it was necessarily like, I don't know.
I always wondered if you were on a reality show. I almost wanted to try out for Big Brother, but I didn't. Because I'd probably be an ass on there. Like, so you think you're doing great, but then you're like America's hated person. Like, yeah. I don't want to do. I don't want to be that guy.
You know what? That's a good idea, actually. So if there is any TV execs that actually listen to our stuff, which probably not, I would say, hey, look, we got a great client, a great guest for your show. I would love to see him on the national screen, and make sure you edit that sucker good. Make him look disgusting as he should, because he tries. It's funny when the cameras turn on, he's all, I'm nice guy. But then the cameras turn off, he's just mean as they can be. I mean, he's like the worst human being, remember?
Coming from the man who carries the angry face.
I always say, hey, I got an angry face all the time because of him. That's what
I'm the cause of his anger and his anxieties.
That's right. So, all right, let's take a look because we're coming up to a hard commercial break right now. Because remember, you changed the time. So let's take a look at new music from the band Taking Back Sunday. Oh, what was this song called?
Sold. So old. That's right. So take a look at So Old by Taking Back Sunday.
You're gonna get so old. You're gonna get so old. You're gonna get so old. Either way. Well, I was all a loss, call me conjecture. You seem happy enough to have me stay. Well, I am one of God's great creatures. It's
muted. He's always muted.
Always muted.
All right. You know, they don't sound like the old school Take It Back Sunday.
No.
They sound. I like the older version of them probably better, but not older as in their age is older. I like the older like in the past.
What about Rolling Stones?
I like Rolling Stones, like their stuff.
Honestly, I've never been a Rolling Stones fan, and I was raised on music from that era, and I just never really. That or the Beatles.
We tend to forget about that when bands like Taking Back Sunday, Hawthorne Heights, all those early 2000 bands, they have to change. They have to try new things. Some people are going to like it. You know, we all go, well, it's not like it used to be anymore. I really wish they would just keep doing the same old music.
No, but I actually I like when bands change it up and they don't sound the same.
Yeah. So,
but if you're the Rolling Stones, you sound like you're, from the 80s now. I mean, I don't know. It's like there's nothing new about. At least Taking Back Sunday has. They're a little more. What's that? What's that? Indie. They're more. I guess they were kind of always indie emo. They're more indier. They're more indish. Can I say indish?
Here we go. He's reaching, folks. He's reaching for that word that's not going to describe them at all. And just like he does with a lot of our bands, he's like, yeah, you guys sound like whatever. So
they kind of remind me of the Mamas and the Papas.
Mamas and the
Oh my gosh.
Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No, they don't. All right, we got 5 minutes to kill.
We got 5 minutes ago. I don't think we have time to get into the residuals and AI stuff, but we do have some music news, right?
I do want to talk about, this has been a wonderful week for festivals, as you guys can tell out there. First, it started with Burning Man, all those rich white people stuck in the mud.
I saw that.
But hey, they had campers. They got it good right now.
They were good, and Burning Man is not a music festival. Okay, let's let everyone know that it's never been a music festival. It's more of an art. I call it like a bazaar of art sculptures and stuff like that. And like I said, rich white people wearing half naked.
It's more hippies.
Yeah,
I thought it was a music festival. I didn't know that.
No, they had stages. They have music there. I saw.
They have music, but they don't have stages. They have Gertz and stuff like that, and acoustic guitar and Kumbaya hour and all that kind of stuff.
Bunch of hippies.
So so I went to Burning Man one year, and I can tell you the first thing you do is they ask that you roll around the dirt. I said, absolutely not. I didn't pay all this money so I can roll around in the dirt. I know as a Marine, hygiene is very important, especially when you're out in the middle of a freaking nowhere in this moon dust dirt. It's very green, very environmental. They do have porta potties and all this kind of stuff, but they don't have showers. They do not have showers. Mm-hmm. So, you got a bunch of very attractive females that smell like butt all day long. You're like, oh my God, why does she smell like that? That makes no sense. Way too beautiful to be like, but everyone's there, but they have the coolest art sculptures. And I will tell you that. So, but this year, not a freakish storm, but a storm rolled through, dumping almost twice the amount of rain that area gets a year. So
in a day.
Wow. In a day. So, poor Chris Rock and Diplo or whatever his name is, the DJ.
I don't feel bad for them.
Yeah. So they had a hard time, they had to get rides with normal people, to get out of there because they didn't want to.
No, they were stuck there for a long time. Did you not see that?
If Chris Rock's in your car, do you ask him for an autograph?
Well,
while he's in your car, like everyone's freaking out, you're like, dude, take a picture.
I would have slapped him. I said, hey, Will Smith ain't got nothing on me. Smack. And be like, what are you going to do now? No, just kidding. No, but I did feel bad for a lot of people that spend a lot of money, but not as bad as what just happened. Now we're recording on a Saturday, and it just announced today the whole Blue Ridge Rock Festival canceled due to weather. On top of what has already happened.
That's what that post was about. I saw a couple people post. I didn't really look that much into it, though. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
and our Diego, the guy who's on the show, a lot of times he's
so
hosting Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's hosting, but
he got to announce catch.
He's got to announce a band. Yeah, exactly.
He announced
him and
a
Jay.
band.
A band. There you go.
He's there eating food.
That's right. So I actually feel bad because I've watched Jonathan, try to create this thing and try to create a very over the top and try to, outdo what Danny Wimmer and his team has done with all their festivals and stuff like that. And it's a lot of bands. I mean, it's a couple hundred bands for 3 days of festival. But, it started the first day, and every year it's plagued with something, and it's usually camping or it's usually something and so on. And then to have another storm just roll through that area, tear apart people's tents, merch tents. A lot of bands will go out there to sell merchandise at the campgrounds and just hang out with people and try to get their name out if they're not playing.
Aren't we glad we didn't go now, Sam?
You know what? I said that. I was like, I'm glad that we called it in June because we didn't have any work.
We were gonna go.
We were gonna go. So I'm glad because we'd be sweating. Now, granted, I would have took care of us because I was gonna make sure we had a camper or RV or something nice.
We don't
like
camp.
that.
We glamp, bitches.
We glamp. Well,
hey, I stayed in the hotel whenever I went to Rocklahoma last year. Screw camping or glamping.
Well, an RV at least. If I don't have a shower for Sebastian to take his morning,
well, why do you think I was at the hotel?
If I don't shower, don't talk to me all day till after I take a shower.
I'm seriously. If he doesn't get his shower, at least a PT shower, something he can rinse off all the alcohol and all the smells off of him, he is a grump all day long, and he'll stink on top of that. So
I'll be a stinky grump.
Well, I mean, whenever a place like Rocklahoma, you're sweating all day anyways. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sleep until I have a shower. Screw having it when I wake up. I'm not laying in that bed until all that sweat's gone.
Yeah. So I just feel really bad. Like I said, I don't know how he's going to bounce. Jonathan and his team is going to bounce back from this. It's a lot of refunds that they're going to have to give out. And they're still going to have to pay probably deposits as well as maybe full payments for the bands that were scheduled to perform that were there. So it's going to be tough. And I hope it can continue on. Ooh, but I'm seeing, I'm just looking at it going up. I would take 2 years, John. Just take 2 years, recoup, and then come back at it again. We've already saw what happened earlier in the summer, earlier in the year with, Metal in the Mountains up in West Virginia, and that thing, falling apart. And these festivals.
Blue Ridge is in Virginia too, right?
Yeah. Well, the Metal in the Mountains is West Virginia, and then Blue Ridge is in Virginia, just a little north of Charlottesville.
They're in East Virginia.
Northeast Virginia.
There's no East Virginia state.
Anyway,
here's the thing is Virginia. Okay, that's the constant.
Okay.
Don't throw a concert festival in Virginia. You'll be all right.
Well, the one in Florida did fine, but of course that was earlier in the summer.
Well, it wasn't Virginia, was it? It was Florida.
No, it was Florida. Yeah.
You're talking about Welcome to Rockville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a Danny Wimmer presents. So I'm just saying, him and his team.
I was just saying. Sebastian said no Virginia, so I was just stating Rocklahoma did fine, and the one in Florida did fine, but
Yeah, it's tough when you start getting into the late July, August, September dates. It's heat especially, but it's one of those things. They're trying to stand out where everyone else has May, June. Usually for their festivals, stuff like that. October for the West Coast. Usually we have them like the when we were young festival. Yeah, I couldn't remember the festival name. So it's tough. And throwing a festival is tough in general. There's a lot of moving parts in it. So we wish the team the best, but ouch. That's all I gotta say. And the hate that people are.
Oh, people are mad. People are definitely. But when weather happens, you can't control the weather. You can predict it, and sometimes that's not even accurate. But we do got to get out of here. I want to thank everyone that listens to this show. I also want to mention, if you're still listening to this, email us theloudspot@gmail.com. If you have any concert stories you would like for us to share on our podcast, we would love to do that. That's all the time we got. Subscribe to all of our stuff. Peace out, rock on, and much love.
This is the Loud Spot outro by Nothing Short of Tragic. Is this all talk with no action? No. Is this my thoughts with distraction? No. Is this what I bought that's in fashion? Or is this the Loud Spot with Sebastian? Yes. Does Nothing Short of Tragic have his back again? Yes. Does everything that's good really have to end? Yes. A pimp host has to pimp show, so to get more episodes, make an order, this is over.